Hi, welcome to my page. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you'll stay for a while. My name is Shanique, also known as Shay, and welcome to my page called Shayventure.
Baby wanna drip, don't even trip. Flexing that whip with a diamond on her wrist. I got a chick, nobody can hit. I put her in, the diamond on her ring, yeah. She all about me. In them tight shorts, you can even see the cheese. Bad beef running up down through the streets. I ain't even lying, she better than me. She better than me.
A little bit about me. My name is Shanique. Everyone calls me Shay. So about 2 or 3 years ago, I made an Instagram page called Shayventure, and it was because my cousin gave me the idea. He was like, "You're traveling all the time, going places. Like, oh, why don't you post everything that you've done?" I was like, I guess, yeah, maybe. And then also a lot of my friends would ask questions like, oh, like for example, for Cuba, how much was the visa? I didn't even know we could go to Cuba as U.S. citizens. And someone just asked me, well, how did you afford it? Or what did you do when you get there? How do you navigate when you don't know the language? So I basically had an Instagram page, which is quick facts, information, pictures. It's just stuff I did while I was in different countries and different states. Both of my parents are from the Caribbean. My mom is from Montserrat and has some Trinidadian in her, and my dad's from Antigua. So basically, summertime, whenever there's holidays or events, I always go back home to the Caribbean or maybe even to England. I've basically been to different islands and back to England mostly after my childhood. As I got older and I did my own traveling, then it's like, okay, the world I'm gonna see. And I've been to 16 countries and 19 states. So the 16 countries I've been to, I've actually had to write this down because I don't remember. I actually downloaded an app called Bin. It's very useful, so I can click every country I've been to and it kind of shows you on the map where you've been, and then the percentage of the world, the percentage of how much you've seen. So I'll put it on the side here so you can see. So I've been to 19 US states and 16 countries. The 16 countries I've been to are, I wrote it down because I'm not going to remember this. All right, England, Greece, Italy, China, Indonesia, Colombia, Antigua, Montserrat, Cuba, Bermuda, Canada, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Mexico, St. Kitts and Nevis, and then of course the United States of America, because that's where I'm born, like that's where I'm from. I basically love to travel because it allows me to see a new culture, new language, new food, just new experience, new people. I just feel like it's an escape. So basically I work as a nurse in New York, and it can get very stressful. It can get intense. The patients, they're very sick, or just be a crazy night, or just no staff. And nursing, it can be very stressful. For anyone who is a nurse, you already know, who wants to be a nurse, definitely look for a hobby, something to do as a stress reliever, because it can get very intense. Like some days you come home exhausted, you just want to sleep. It's like I don't want to be bothered anybody. There's just days you just want to just drink a bottle, like a shot, a little wine. Just like this is too much. So with that, burnout is real. Like if you're going into nursing, thinking about nursing, definitely do it. Don't be discouraged. Like every job has its stress, but burnout is real. So look for a job, a hobby, something to keep you a little bit sane. Because if you notice, nurses have a little bit of dry, dark humor, just something to keep you lifted. So that was my escape, literally from the hospital, from the Bronx, from New York. I'm like, I'm just escaping, I'm getting out. My floor, before I transferred, now I'm a labor and delivery nurse. So I love it, helping moms, newborns, I love it. But before that, I was on a med-surg floor where I did pulmonary, basically patients that's connected to ventilators, trachs. We cross-trained with ICU, intensive care units, so sometimes we would float to ICU. It was interesting, I'm not gonna lie, I learned a lot. It was a great experience, and amazing staff, but it was just, I couldn't do the suctioning for the rest of my life. I couldn't be suctioning out somebody's. I don't even like when people spit on the floor, so just imagine me at work. It wasn't a good combination. I was like, no. In January of 2018, that's when I said to myself, like, I need to change. I need to take care of me. I need to fix my own burnout because I'd be exhausted. I felt like I was just like adulthood, paying bills and going to work, paying bills, and I'm back at work. It was just like a cycle. I'm like, I'm not happy. So 2018, I was like, yeah, this is my year and I'm changing it. So in the year of 2018, I decided I want to change. So that year is the most amount of traveling I've ever done. January of 2018, I was in Mexico. February, I went to Cuba. March, I went to England. April, I went to Dominican Republic. May, I went to Italy and Greece. And yes, I was still working as a floor nurse. All I did, well, when you are a nurse, you work 3 to 4 days a week, 12-hour shifts. So what I did was put my days 3-4 days in a row, then put the next 3 or 4 days at the end of the next week. So I would have like maybe a week or 6 days off, and I would travel literally. My suitcase would be in the lounge, the locker room, waiting for me. After that 12-hour shift, I'm going on a plane. Then when I come off on a plane, I'm going straight to work. Like sometimes I did it like right back to back. I was like, I need an escape. Like I just needed it. It didn't matter. The most I did was like a week, and the least I probably went away was like 4 days. So four days to a week is usually how long my trips would be, which sucked in a way because it was so short. You know, you kind of, not that you miss out, but there's so much more you can do in 4 or 5 days. Like if you had 2 weeks, you could see so much more of a country than 4 or 5 days. But I took it and I ran with it, honestly, flew with it. So that's a little bit about me. My nursing travels are obviously already done. I have clips from different videos. So I made 2 little story time, little videos just talking about my trip and then inserting images on the side of the screen so you have an idea how my trip is. So it's like you were with me on the trip, but I didn't vlog the whole trip because usually I like to enjoy my trip. I want to embrace it. Like I do take pictures and videos, of course, as memories, but at the same time I still want to live in the moment. So my videos will be a little bit different, but I'm definitely gonna give helpful information, tips that I think would be useful if someone was beginning to travel or not sure where to travel to, where it's safe, you know, basically information on traveling. I understand why a lot of people are nervous, scared, tense, especially what's going on in the world nowadays, or what's being shown to light nowadays, I should say. I understand completely why some people I've even seen, they said they'll only stay in Africa, they'll only travel to Africa, they'll only travel to the Caribbean, and maybe select US states. And honestly, I completely understand why a person would feel that way. They don't feel safe to travel, or they don't feel safe in certain countries. But at the end of the day, every place can be dangerous. Anything can happen to you anywhere. Like in New York, like, yeah, it's very diverse, but crimes do happen. In addition to that, you can also break the stereotype of what may be in the media about the overall black women, angry, ghetto, ratchet. When they meet you, they're like, wow, you changed my perspective. You open up my mind to see, you know, in a different light, which I think is great. And then you kind of learn about another person, language, and some, of course, not all the times everybody will mesh great, but it can help break that stereotype. So also with traveling to different countries, you can learn about the African population of that country, the African heritage of that country. So basically, when people think of Cuba, they may not realize Cuba has African heritage. The Dominican Republic has it too. Of course, a lot of the islands have it because of the slave trade. Colombia has it. Some people may not even realize Mexico, Colombia, Central America, South America has African heritage. So I feel like you gotta be open-minded sometimes when traveling. You should listen, of course, to what everyone has to say, but I feel like you should also make your own decisions, because then you miss out on opportunities because you never went. And why some people say, oh, I'm not into going into XYZ countries because of, I've heard negative stories of how my friend was treated, or how the black or dark skinned person was treated. And I completely understand. Like, you want to be safe wherever you go. I feel like at the end of the day, you have to do your research and know what to expect before you're going. For example, with China, I already knew they take pictures. I already knew what was coming before it came, because I want to say 20-hour layover from Bali back to New York, and we basically spent a day in China, just walking around, just seeing what's there. And of course, when we're walking the streets, me and my two other friends, both black, female, they're taking pictures, looking, and it's just like, why are you doing that? But I had an idea what I was getting into before going there, because I did my research. I knew what to expect, but that's as far as it went. It was nobody grabbing us, touching us, or like asking to be in a picture with us. It was more like they took a picture of us, not like, oh, you know, let's come together, let's go take a picture. No, it was just like us just walking. I guess they're surprised to see black people. I'm surprised. I'm like, a lot of people travel to China. Like, they go see the Great Wall and other places in China. You have black people living in China. So I don't understand why they do that, but they do. So if you ever see that's real. That happens. They do take pictures. And I've heard from other people like who have gone to China, who are Hispanic and they're lighter, like brown or even paler. They took pictures of them too. So I guess it's mostly anybody that looks different from them. They're like, wow. That's my little intro video. A little bit about me, why I travel. So please subscribe, like, send to your friends. I'm gonna post more content about travel tips, tricks, and nursing and other lifestyle